Hi everybody, this is Matt. Thanks for watching and welcome back. Going to answer a couple of viewer questions that I get asked quite often on the classic 1911, designed by John Moses Browning. First question goes somewhere along these lines. Matt, what is it about the 1911? I thought that it was an antiquated design that was designed over 100 years ago that we probably shouldn't even be using, but yet I see a lot of manufacturers coming out with new models and also new models in different calibers and different sizes. What's up with that? Well, folks, it's real simple. Manufacturers are not going to make something unless they're selling them. If they're not selling them, they ain't making them. So they're making them because they want to make money. They're making a profit off of it. That's why we see them. There's been a lot of research and development that has essentially done a little bit of massaging or refining of the 1911, and it's really neat to see the other calibers coming online, like say 9mm, so on and so forth. And I would love someday to have a 9mm 1911. It was designed by John Moses Browning, who is an absolute genius, and his designs not just affect this, but other firearms throughout history. So look up your history on firearms. John Moses Browning was an absolute genius in my book. So I hope that answers your question. Second question that I get typically comes from a person that's used to a polymer type of a handgun, and they are asking about the safeties on a 1911 and how to safely run one. Great question. Keep those questions coming. So let's talk about the safeties on a 1911. Now, first of all, I don't have anything in that magazine whatsoever. There's nothing around. So let's begin with this. The Beaver tail backstrap safety. This means that I can have the main safety off. I can push on this trigger all I want, and that hammer's not going to fall because this is not engaged. So nothing happens. The moment that I press on this, then the trigger will fall. So that's how that works. The other safety that we have involved here are these. This safety right here. Now, this comes from the Smith Wesson Performance Center. It came with an ambidextrous safety right out of the gate, which I really love because what? I'm a lefty. So being left-handed, I love having an ambi safety on a 1911. And matter of fact, any 1911 I get, if it doesn't have an ambi safety, it will, because I always put them on there. So this is another safety right there. And let's just go ahead and talk about how I do dry fire manipulation to practice with the safety, because normally my EDC is a polymer gun. So if I were going to be carrying a 1911, I would practice a lot in the draw just to simply reinforce that neuroplasticity, those neural pathways that exist a la muscle memory. And here's how it goes. Now, let's pretend that I've got this thing holstered. First thing is I'm going to establish my grip on the firearm before I draw it, which means that my thumb is going to sit on top of this safety, just like so. So I go ahead, I draw, and then when I get up into this position and I begin to press out, what happens? Safety off. I go ahead and I shoot, and then when I come back, safety on before it goes into the holster. Always make sure, double check that that safety is on before it goes back into the holster, because nobody wants to have an accident. So it's a real simple drill. You're just simply clearing your holster, coming up, pushing out, safety off, fire, come back, safety on. And then you reholster. Safety off, fire, safety on. Safety off, fire, safety on. It's that simple. Safety off, fire, safety on. So by repetition, we can get this basically programmed into our computer up here and make sure that everything goes as planned. And even when you are in a course of fire, my thumb is always riding on top of the safety. I still have a thumbs forward grip on the 1911, and that way I have positive control over it. So that's how I do it. That's how I practice with it. And I don't ever hold a 1911 like this and then attempt to fire it. Never, never, never. I'm always riding right on top of that safety. I'm filling in the space. I'm still indexing just like you would on a polymer pistol, and punching out, firing, coming back, putting the safety back on before it goes back into the holster. So I hope that that answers some of your questions, and those are some drills that you can do to familiarize yourself with it. When in doubt, get an instructor to help you, and dry manipulation of a firearm is something that should be in your training plan, because failing to plan is planning to fail. Anyway, thanks for watching. Keep the questions coming. I really appreciate it. And until next time, everybody, have a good one and be safe out there.